Hello, everyone. Welcome to day 12 of the Maybe Mounjaro series. It is Nurse KP here. Welcome if it is your first time here, and if you're a returning subscriber or viewer, I would like to say welcome back and thank you for spending another night with me. Today is currently Mother's Day, and I wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. With today being a holiday, many of us may be having some type of Mother's Day dinner. Some of us may be going out to eat at a restaurant, going to a loved one's house, or we may be cooking ourselves for our families. So tonight's topic, we're going to discuss overeating while on Mounjaro. Overeating is what got us to a point to where we had to come on Mounjaro. So overeating is a little bit of a touchy subject for some people because of the reasons why some of us may overeat. It may be triggering to some of us. So I'm just going to talk about my personal experience when I tried to overeat while being on Mounjaro and what it can do to you and what it has done to me when I have overeaten. Overeating is just one of those things you cannot do while being on Mounjaro. You can try, but you will find yourself having some GI upset. You will feel bloated. You will feel bad. You will feel nauseous. And you may even throw up. You may even experience some episodes of vomiting when you overeat while being on Mounjaro. Mounjaro rewires our brain to tell us when to stop eating. And there are moments where we try to overindulge in whatever is sitting in front of us on our plate. And to be honest, we just cannot do it. So like I say, last night we had our banquet. I had 4 chicken wings, 2 meatballs. I did have a soda, a bottle of water. I feel like I had something else that I may be missing. However, I cannot remember that. Sometimes I have brain fog, and that's pre-Mounjaro. So I've read like a forum where they said Mounjaro can make you have brain fog, but it's pre-existing for me, so I don't know. So I may not fully remember what I ate. So today I had leftovers from last night, some chicken wings, a few meatballs. And then we went to my husband's sister's house, and I had rice, green beans with potatoes, piece of a hamburger, barbecue sausage. And I had some cake from the banquet last night. Tried to eat some cake, and y'all, I just started feeling kind of ill and kind of disgusted. See how I felt disgusted? It was like I was trying to eat it, and it was like a feeling of cotton mouth for me. Like, it just wasn't feeling to me. And I don't know if it was too rich for me, but it's just, like I say, eating cake kind of turned me off to it. So I just stopped eating it and started drinking some water. So when I personally try to overeat because it's so good, or, I don't want to be hungry later, when I try to overeat while being on Mounjaro, I do feel that bloating feeling that I discussed, that I mentioned earlier, and kind of like sick to my stomach. And that's the GI upset that happens while you are on Mounjaro and you try to overeat. Eating is a culprit when it's not done in moderation or not in a healthy manner. And when I say healthy, I mean like high fatty food, greasy foods. You will come to find quickly that high fatty foods and greasy foods does not agree with us anymore. So we have to be mindful of the things we take in, because it will cause that upset. Overeating impedes the process that we're trying to get through and get to, which is our goals of weight loss and diabetes management. when you overeat, it's kind of like you're doing it for nothing. Now, while being on Mounjaro, you will come to find that there's no set caloric goal. Me personally, I'm not on, but I'll come to find between 12 to 1800 calories a day is what keeps me and what has in my caloric deficit. So with that, a goal of 12 to 1800 calories is mindful, but it's not a golden standard for being on Mounjaro, but staying within that 12 to 1800 calorie range is basically enough to say we are getting in enough calories and we're not taking in too few calories. Because some days you may find yourself not wanting to even eat at all. So that caloric range of 12 to 1800 calories, I would personally recommend that you try to stay within. Now, I don't count calories. I don't be like, oh, this has so many calories. This has, I'm not looking up calories in everything that I eat. And some things I generally know if it's high calories or not. Like today and yesterday, I had high calorie foods. Try not to look at the scale, but I've been taking my weight like every day of this series. So you may find that in the description of every day of this series, I changed my weight. There's what my weight was for today that I measured it. Like today, my weight was 201.4. Now tomorrow, maybe 205, 206. We don't know. I haven't stepped back on the scale since I weighed myself early today. Calories do matter. And the calories matter because taking in an excess of calories, like I say, it's like, why are you doing this? Why are you on Mounjaro? Like, you can still be hungry and you got to find like what it is. Like, what type of foods are you eating that you're not achieving the satiety that you need to achieve in order for you to get through hunger and keeping it at bay until it's time for the next meal. For me, I personally don't do small, frequent meals. I personally do not do small, frequent meals. And I say that because during the day when I'm at work, like I say, I'm on a time schedule and I will eat that breakfast that morning, maybe, or some mornings I don't even eat breakfast at all. And then I just go hours without eating. So it's like I'm in sort of a fast, but forced fast. Now, this doesn't go without mentioning proteins again. Protein intake is very important while being on Mounjaro because we are losing muscle mass. So strength training is good, but I don't do it. So yeah, I don't do it. I don't do it. Simple as that. I don't do it. I don't got no excuse. I don't do it. So we are losing muscle mass. So strength training is a way to build up that muscle that we are losing. And protein is another way to keep the symptoms at bay and manage hunger and maintain our weight loss goals. Chicken, eggs, fish, poultry, which is chicken. It can stabilize your blood sugar also. So the proteins is important for stabilizing your blood sugar and staying within your caloric range goals. So healthy proteins and fats and stuff like that is what helps to keep us from being hungry. One of these days, I have said I'm gonna do a what I eat in a day, but it's so hard to remember to, So that day, I may just do a short. It may be the video for it. I don't know. I don't know what my plan is for this series. I just get on here, say what I got to say, go to bed, live my life. You may find that your protein intake does matter, but for me, I just don't monitor everything that I put in my mouth. I'll be like, oh, I could have a plate full of food and I could eat like little of it, very little of what I put on my plate because it's like I get full fast. And then maybe a couple hours later, I'm hungry again and I'll bite off of that, a little bit more just to, have that staggered intake for me. So that's what I do personally. We have to do what works for us. I'm doing what works for me. What works for me in this journey is not being so stressed out on, like, people are going out buying scales and getting that what is that? I've seen the bariatric plates where it has portion control. I don't do portion control. I don't monitor, I need to have a fistful of this, a handful of this. I don't do all of that. It works for you. It just don't work for me. So be realistic. I'm being realistic. I don't have time to do all that measuring, and I don't have time for all that. I just don't eat a lot. It's like I say, Mounjaro has changed how I think about food. I try to eat the cake. I try to do this and do that. I don't do all that. When I go to Sonic and I got to have my cookies and cream ice cream, I get a mini. So this is what I mean when I say it changed how I think about food. When back then I used to get like the medium cookies and cream, and instead I get the miniature cookies and cream. So I stay within what I know I can eat. And that has been working for me. I didn't lose almost 100 pounds still eating the way I used to eat before. And this is one of the things that has made my journey so successful, by scaling back on how I eat, but not what I eat. So I still enjoy the things that I want. I still like my shrimp. I like my crab legs. I like my steak. I love a good steak. Instead of getting an 8-ounce steak, I get a 6-ounce steak because that's how small they come. 6 ounce. Get a little filet mignon. It's just I cut back. I only did what I knew how to do, was cut back. I'm not going to stop enjoying the food that I always have enjoyed. Like, in this household, we are always on the go with sports and everything. The kids of mine, they want to eat pizza and Chick-fil-A 3 to 4 times a week. I eat pizza too with them some days, but I eat like 1 slice, depending on how it's cut and where it come from, 2 slices. I don't eat the crust, or sometimes I pick out the toppings. So you got to do what works for you. Like I said, I have not changed how I ate. No, let me back up. I haven't changed what I ate. I only changed how I ate. And that has led me to be so successful in this journey. And doing what works for me, I don't see a reason to be so stressed out about what I eat when it's so much other things that I got going on in my personal life that I can deal with, So do what works for you. When I started Mounjaro, I didn't know where to start. I didn't have support groups. I didn't have any of that. So this is why I say relax and just do what works for you. Because stressing out about what you're eating and the weight not moving is doing more harm than good. And it's unnecessary stressors that we place upon ourselves in an effort to achieve the goal that we want to achieve. Take your time. Learn what you like and don't like, what you can have and what you can't have. Just learn, Like I say, Mounjaro rewires the brain on eating. You still may find yourself hungry. You just have to learn. Well, taking more water while you're eating. Now, I know, like, if you're a bariatric patient, you can't do them both at the same time. However, when I drink more water while I'm eating, I eat less. So that is a point that you can try when you're still have this big plate in front of you and you're trying to finish it. And another thing, do not force yourself to finish everything that is on your plate. It will be there. Take it with you. Doggy bag it. Save it for later. Do not ever try to force yourself to eat everything that is on your plate. You will stress yourself and you will stress your body out. When you stress your body out, you're going to have all of those GI symptoms that are very uncomfortable for you. And you're going to lead yourself into feeling very icky and blah. If there are any other tips that you all wanted to discuss on overeating while being on Mounjaro and how you combat that and what you've done and what you are doing, and you're still feeling hungry and you're looking for tips on how to stop that or combat that or keep that feeling at bay of not achieving the satiety, leave a comment below. Myself or somebody else in the community can help one another with gaining access to information to be more successful while on this journey. This is Nurse KP, and y'all have a good night. I'll see you all tomorrow.